Yes.
How we are going. And right now I need to turn it off. No. Hello everyone. I am so sorry for this, but I have just been trying to set up a new LinkedIn Live system, and that's why this mess. But I hope you enjoy today's presentation and the conversation that we might have and we want to have today. So I hope you're there, and I look forward to speaking with all of you, and in a very interesting way. We have got some amazing things happening, and I want you guys to pour in your comments, views, thoughts, whatever comes to your mind. Feel free to do that. I would be really happy to see what you guys think about the Paytm Center. What do you guys think about the Paytm story? What's happening? And this is a quick masterclass on Paytm. So please pull in your comments, please put in your thoughts, anything that comes to your mind, and I'll be very happy to talk about it. Uh, we usually have this event on a Sunday morning, but this is a special session on Paytm, and I thought I would really take this day in the evening to talk about it after working hours. And here it is. So Paytm, the most talked about news right now in the startup world. Everybody is talking about Paytm, what's going on, how it is happening, what's happening, uh, what people are talking about, and things like that. So here is a quick presentation. First, let's talk about digital India, and let's talk about how people are looking at Paytm. Demonetization happened in 2016, so this was like the Narendra Modi era of announcing that there is a demonetization, and as a repercussion, everybody in the country started realizing that they have to stop using cash, and everybody then downloaded a Paytm app, or the other UPI apps, and that's exactly what we saw happening. While we saw all of that happening, the entire situation was that India was way behind China in terms of digital payments. But suddenly in 2018, which is just 2 years, India surpassed China to become the biggest digital transaction country in the world. And today, while we're sitting in 2024, we are 2.5 times of China and more than 10 times of USA in terms of the number of digital payments that we make today. So that's exactly what's going on. And Paytm is one of the biggest startups because this was started in 2010. This was an early starter. They have serious advantages of being the first ones in the segment, but others have also done fairly well. And that's exactly the output of this entire story. But do we really think ये क्या हो रहा है? Paytm, in my opinion, is a god syndrome right now, where we have seen Paytm Bank, and RBI comes back to Paytm on 31st of January saying that there are serious violations of KYC, there are serious problems with Paytm right now, and there are serious issues going on. And with those issues going on, there is a serious requirement for Paytm to really, look into its own operations. Somewhere we feel that this has not been a new story. This is not for the first time. So the first notice from RBI came from 2018. Then Paytm was fined about 1 crore. And then it was again fined more than 3 crores for all the faults that they were committing, for all the mistakes that they were committing, and all the inaccuracies in their operations. Currently, if you look at certain statements made or mentioned at various media places, we are talking about 38 crore accounts, out of which 31 crore accounts are inoperative. And that's surprising. How can you have inoperative accounts which are 31 crore accounts just staying inoperative? And there are thousands of accounts being linked to KYC, to the same KYC. So one single KYC, one single Aadhaar card, and there are multiple accounts being linked to it. And There are interlinkages, and there are intermingling of staff, there is intermingling of information, there is intermingling of servers between 197, which is the Paytm's parent company, and the Paytm bank, and that's not allowed. So in a bank, you're supposed to keep everything separate. It should not be anywhere and should not be available to anybody, and that's exactly where things are going wrong with Paytm. Let's also try and understand that, what is happening with the share price of Paytm. So share price of Paytm when it got listed was about 1950, 1950 rupees, whereas we are today on 15th February talking about the share price of 325.05 rupees. So this is such a big decline in terms of what is happening at Paytm, how things are going on, and we don't really see any progress and any change happening. It is still going down. So this small spike that you see on maybe around 10th of February was the day when Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma met the finance minister, but then nothing happened, and it's again further gone down. So by all news and all structures, if somebody invested 1 lakh rupees in Paytm, it is worth only 20,000. So there's a 80% decline in the value of Paytm shares, and I think that's a big problem for all investors, and we are really thinking what's going on. Let's understand what are the challenges faced by Paytm. So if we look at the current problems, Paytm Payments Bank is again, we are talking about what were the directors doing throughout all these messages and warnings being given. So what is the structure that people are not really taking care of Paytm Payments Bank. It is very much intermingled with 197, and it is very much into the same things. KYC lapse, we have discussed. RBI issues a notice prohibiting Paytm from all activities after February 29th. So if you are a I mean, it's not all activities of Paytm, but all Paytm bank activities, where we are talking about, anybody who is having a Paytm bank transaction or a Paytm bank account, it will be inoperative. All the people who have wallets and who have money in the wallets would be still able to withdraw and use it as they were. So we need to distinguish between Paytm 197, and we need to distinguish between Paytm bank, and these are two different sections of the business. But and Paytm bank is just another entity. It has to be kept separate, it has to be kept independent. So RBI is issuing notice to the Paytm bank, and it is not issuing notice to Paytm at the moment. All Paytm wallets, you will still be able to use them and withdraw money if there is a buyer or a taker for this, but not all of them will be coming out. Paytm is also facing a problem with Paytm Mall. So Paytm Mall also started facing problem with 2022 onwards. So 2022, Paytm was very much clear that they wanted to sell all sorts of products, this, that, blah, blah, blah. But now this is going down the drain, and it's not doing good at all. And there are serious compliance issues. As a history, we look at 2010, when it was founded by Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, and the IPO is the most talked about thing in the country. It was the biggest IPO of 18,300 crores, as the biggest IPO in the history of the country in 2021. It opened at 1950 rupees and closed down at 27 at 1560 on a single day. So 27% money was lost in one single day. Are we trying to say? I mean, I have serious problems with this, because I feel that either the entire country is foolish, and I do feel that all investors who invested in this IPO should have done some due diligence, should have had some thought, should have had some intellect to probably figure out whether this is going to be a fair game or not. And people applied for the IPO, and people lost the money in the single day. 27% over a period. Now we are looking at a value loss of more than 80%. So 80% value loss has happened for Paytm over this period, and which is shocking for all of us. So I think there's something which we have to really start thinking about, that how are we fundamentally looking at this country, and how do people fundamentally invest. In fact, I do find this as a biggest problem today, because people in India do not invest based on fundamentals. They invest on two things. Number one, tips or number two charts. And these are not the right ways of investing in a fairly large economy now. So India needs more, sensible people, more educated people who understand fundamentals of startups, fundamentals of businesses. Problem with Paytm was it was not profitable at all. The only reason why people would value Paytm was that the number of customers and the number of downloads it ever had for its application was massive. So it was one of the startups which had 1 million plus downloads in just a matter of almost 1 year. And that kind of shows the value and the power of this particular startup. But it was never in profits. There is no profit model. The problem with Paytm is that there is no profit model. There is nothing uh, which can actually give them a substantial business model. And because they did not have a business model, they started a Paytm's bank, or they started the Paytm mall, and both the products have failed technically. So we are talking of a failed business because of a very bad business model. So whenever we talk about startup, we talk about three things. We talk about sustainability, scalability, viability. This is a scalable startup, large number of people, fantastic number of audience, so many downloads. It's a sustainable startup, digital economy, market is rising, everything is going good. But viability is the concern here. So a we have a situation where the business is not financially viable. The amount of money being spent versus the amount of money being earned does not match up. It does not add up even for the long term future. So the business is trying to figure out, and all the other people are trying to figure out methods uh, to figure out and pump in and create a business model out of it. So these are some of the concerns. This is just Paytm Mall's revenue breakup. Now it's doing very very bad, seriously facing issues. The commission income, the sale of products, and it kind of increased, rose. The commission income went down. The mall business is really really failing. Before we move on to further conversation, let's also understand what is a payments bank. एक payments bank होता क्या है? Payments bank is not like a regular bank. एक regular bank में we take money from people, we deposit it, and then we give out loans. But a payments bank is not like that. It can only take deposits up to 1 lakh from each of its customers, and then it provides various financial services. Transfer kar do, isko transfer kar do. So basically you're basically putting that kiosk, you say Paytm karo, and uske piche that money goes to the Paytm bank. Within that Paytm bank, then that money is lying, and then you can transfer it to the main bank account of other of other banks for the merchant. So I think that's where it's more like a gateway bank which can keep deposits up to 1 lakh rupees. And that's where Paytm decided to play the game. So they thought, this is what we do. They built up a huge amount of you know uh, lot of customers. Imagine 38 crore accounts have been opened. And if they're lying inactive today, which is out of 38 crore accounts, if 31 crore accounts are lying inactive today, it kind of reflects how casual and how crazy was this only done to show off the investors? Probably. See, normally क्या होता है ना, जब भी कोई स्टार्टअप में कोई इन्वेस्टर आता है, वो इन्वेस्टर आपको एक टर्म शीट देता है, और वो टर्म शीट में बोलता है यू हैव टू अचीव दिस, यू हैव टू अचीव दिस, यू हैव टू अचीव दिस, एंड देयर आर टारगेट्स. And there is a mad rush, because if you do not achieve those targets, then people, so all these investors will back out, or they will start complaining. And to avoid that complaint, you usually are supposed to fulfill those targets. Now it's a very big possibility that if there are specific targets given, Paytm went crazy. It went into the thought process of creating fake accounts. It went crazy into creating, bypassing laws, bypassing situations, hoping and waiting for the government to probably think that Paytm is going to be the backbone of the digital economy. How can they let it die? Think about a yes bank. So let's compare Paytm Bank versus a yes bank. And if you look at Paytm Bank versus yes bank, we'll realize that while Yes Bank, when it was falling, government came out with a full plan and scheme to revive the bank because it's a full proper nationalized bank. On the other hand, if you're talking of a payments bank, the government is not talking about it. It's only bothered about the payment gateway, which is operative and active so far. and the bank's operations will have to be abiding, and the bank has to abide by all the legal requirements of a particular banking license. Now we can't bypass KYC norms, we can't bypass the activity norms, and these banks are supposed to report all of this. So this is exactly where things are going wrong. And good part is, with Paytm falling in the last few months, in fact, just a month to be honest, less than a month, we are seeing all the other apps rising big time. There is a super increase in Google Pay, Phone Pay, Bheem UPI. The biggest achiever of this is Phone Pay. It has 45% growth year on year, my week on week, in the last 3 weeks. So I think this is exactly where they are rising big time, and this is what they are supposed to look at. And phone pay is looking at, big time growth. So this is where we are now. The bigger question is, where are we headed, what is happening, and how do we look at the whole situation? So from my side, I think this is a point of conversation, this is a point which is important for all of us to start pondering upon. And I would want to, probably discuss this with everybody. I would probably want to, talk to everybody and understand how we are, looking at the entire situation. What is going on? How do we really start thinking about the Paytm thing? So my first thing is, any questions, any opinions, any thoughts that you guys have, please shoot out. I would be very happy to talk to you guys, discuss it out on this conversation. This is from now onwards just a conversation session. Uh, if you have any further insights into the entire situation, please go ahead. I would be very very happy and excited to know you guys. I would be very very happy to speak to you. But what I feel is that, I mean, I would say, start thinking about what's going on. And what's going on is a god syndrome. My opinion about god syndrome is that we have really not been giving, they have become too big, right? Look at Byju's, and if I look at Byju's as a story, same thing, right? Became big, too big. We were, and became probably overconfident, started thinking that nobody can do anything to it. In the mad rush to become the biggest, in the mad rush to become wow, powerful, whatever whatever, we've started losing it. And I think that's exactly where the loss is happening now for all of us. This is a very big loss which has started happening, and I'm genuinely concerned about it. So this is how I see it. Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma was initially thinking that he will try to, make a big business. There were so many parties, so much fun. We saw him dancing. We saw a lot of things happening while all of this was going on. Uh, you know, oh, we were like thinking, oh, this is going to become really big. It's like God. And now we are seeing the downfall. So sometimes we have to go slow, go steady, follow the rules, follow the regulations. It's all right to not grow at that speed sometimes. So my advice to a lot of startups always has been that it's okay to go slow and steady. It's okay to really not, I mean, at least it's okay to go fast. It's nice to go fast, but not so fast that you start breaking the rules. You start doing things which are really not fair, right? So you can't be doing unfair things just because you have made a great startup and you are really rich and whatever. So I think these are things which are lessons from my side. All startups need to learn this. Have your fundamentals right, have your structures right, have your business model right, follow sustainability, scalability, viability as a model, have your financial fundamentals absolutely perfect, have a good business plan, work on your numbers, have a profitability plan. As a finance student in my life, I have not learned anywhere that loss is for good forever. It's going to be a loss for the economy sooner or later, and the economy will have to pay for it. So we people are ultimately paying for it. The biggest losers will be us shareholders, investors, and the retail customers who are going to lose the money. And I think people had to walk off with the money and valuation, they have walked off already. So I think these are some of the lessons. I am happy to take any questions, I'm happy to take any opinions. Anybody has a comment, thought, view, Please shoot it out. Please share your views and let's talk about it. I'll wait for a few minutes. If I get some comments, I would be really happy to take them. If not, then probably we'll stop. But I hope you enjoyed it. We will have the next sessions coming through on Sundays only again after this week. So I'm traveling this week and I'll be, having the next LinkedIn Live on the next weekend. But if any views, questions, opinions on Paytm, please shoot it out, write it down, put a text in the LinkedIn Live session. I'll be very, very happy to hear from you. Anyone wants to say anything, please do that. I'll be happy to learn from you guys. Any opinions, any views that you hold would be insightful. So, yeah, that's all. I am just waiting and looking forward to your feedbacks and comments right now. So anybody has any comments, please shoot out. Please write your views. Please write your opinions. Anything that comes to your mind, I'll be very, very happy. Welcome to see and evaluate it. So yes, please let me know what you think. Oh, Ankur is saying amazing insights, future of corporate governance in edtech companies. So Ankur wants to know about future of corporate governance in edtech companies. Interesting. I would say that this is a very good topic to look at. I know what we are talking about. We're talking about the likes of Allens and Byju's and others. Probably keeping the limit of and government now coming back and saying that you can't give tuitions to students less than 16 years of age. It's a very big step, but I don't know how it's going to be done, and what bypass that people would figure out and what bypass will people make out of this entire thing. So there will be definitely some tuition providers and some people who would probably figure out a way to you know to bypass it. Probably they'll just start thinking we do course curriculum tuition or whatever. But I don't know. Let's see. However, I think beyond one is the regulatory aspect, and my take is that part one of the story is what is a regulation. Part two of the story is self-regulation, and I don't know why, but why do we have to become why do I have to lose our own self conscience to get money, right? And is money that important? Anybody has an opinion about it, please share it out. I'd be really, really happy to know whether money is the only thing that you want, bypassing all self conscience, or you would want to have a little less money but live with good self conscience. So I think these are some things which come to my mind right now. But as I think I don't have any further questions from anybody, I would probably call it a day. It was lovely meeting to all of you guys. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much everyone for joining in today. I had a great session. I literally enjoyed the process of learning today because I went through the process. I learned. I read a couple of videos, made this presentation, and shared it with all of you guys. I'll try to do and continue with this practice. I hope you like it. Thank you so much. Have